Okay, this is Hideous Z doing a replay analysis. We're looking at Anivia support, and this is in Silver 4. So just a brief thing. I'm honest, I have a lot of familiarity with Anivia support, so I'm kind of just trying to think through in my head what I would do if I was playing that, or what would be annoying if I was against that. So I'm kind of trying to think through the strategy of what you might want to do. I can definitely see how it would work. One thing I would consider trying, I'm not sure if it would be better or not, but one thing I would consider trying is actually starting E. Start with Frostbite instead of Flash Frost. This is cheaper, it has a lower cooldown, and is just a way to directly deal damage to an opponent, as opposed to this, which is a skill shot, and a tough skill shot to hit, and it costs more mana, so you can't exactly spam it. And usually you're not wanting to go super aggressive until level 2 anyway. So it can be nice, it might be nice to have your E up first so that you can be kind of harassing a little bit more consistently. And then when you hit level 2, then you level your Chilling Smite, or your Flash Frost. I don't know why I said Chilling Smite, Flash Frost, and look to go aggressive at that point. Okay, so already at this point you are kind of just you're kind of being dead weight in the lane. So I'm going to back this up a little bit. Let's look at this. Okay. So right now you want to be in lane by now. So you stayed maybe a little bit long. It's weird that Rek'Sai started red, but if he's going to start on a primary buff, then that means you need to leave a little sooner to be able to get to lane in time, because Tristana, I think, missed a minion there, or missed the XP from a minion. Yeah. So that's unfortunate. But right now, like, you're just flying back and forth here, and you're creating zero pressure. Like, zero pressure. Look at what Bard is doing. Bard is up in front of Israel. He's able to use his skill shots. He's he's creating pressure. He's making Tristana's life harder. And your life harder for that matter. You're kind of just floating around back here. This is doing nothing for your duo. If you don't feel like you have the power to get up in somebody's face and do damage, or you're afraid of taking too much damage in return, then, like, I mean, at least go over into the brush and create potential pressure by being invisible here, where they don't know what you're about to do, you know? At least do that. Don't just be floating around back here where they know you're not a threat. At least be in here where maybe you're a threat, you know? But ideally, you want to be using your range, your auto attacks, your ranged auto attacks. Let's see, Anivia's auto attack range is... I don't see it. Oh, there it is, 600. So yeah, you have actually a really long auto attack range. So you can be harassing pretty constantly, especially as Bard is moving up to try to harass. You can just be hitting with auto attacks. Don't underestimate your auto attacks. They are immensely powerful at level 1 relative to health pools. So be plinking away at people, just pew, 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 pew. As a ranged support, that's what you want to be doing. And then as you're doing that, look to be hitting people with your stun. So don't just be dead weight. If you're going to play Anivia support, you got to make Anivia support do work for you. Don't let Bards bully you around here. Create pressure. You have a zone. You have a threat zone of about, you know, this big, because that's the range of your Flash Frost. Okay, sorry about that. Had to take care of something real quick. So anyway, threat range. You want to, your threat range with Flash Frost is, actually it might be even bigger than this, but it's at least this. It's longer than this. That range is nuts. So it's at least that. So if, you know, you want to make them respect this range, you know, if you have Frostbite, then, you know, I think the range is maybe is closer to actually what this circle is, but you have the power to make them respect that range, and certainly your auto attack range. But right now, since you're not actually really doing anything to them, you're not making them respect you at all. Ezreal should not be able to just sit here. Like, this is crazy. Tristana should be punishing him too, but you can be punishing him. Look at him. He's taking this CS. This is what he's focusing on. So he's going to auto attack this CS. So why aren't you absolutely destroying him right now? This is free. It's a free Flash Frost and a free auto attacker too. And, you know, if he uses his, you know, I don't know what he took level 1. He took, yeah, he doesn't have his blink yet, so he would have to flash to avoid it. So that's free right now, is Flash Frost and auto attacks. And he's at like half health, because Tristana will probably follow up at that point. She's not going to miss any CS if you go aggressive right now. Or you're looking for Bard. If Bard pops out, you know, how can you zone him out of just walking up and being aggressive? You always got to be thinking about that as pressure. For support, creating pressure is massive. That is almost your entire job early on. Or it's one of the most important jobs you have early on, is creating zone pressure to give your ADC breathing room and to create opportunities for you guys to go aggressive on the enemy duo. Okay. Moving forward. So again, yeah, you're just floating back here and you're just doing nothing. You're doing nothing. This is so bad. I mean, at least be up here. Okay, so now, okay, so don't be here. So, you know, if you're going, you want to be up here, but think about this. Ezreal's all skill shots, right? So don't be here. Be here. This is where you want to be, behind this minion. He can't hit you. Right? You can hit him. All your skill shots don't get blocked by minions, but his do. So position right here. You're away from Bard too. You're in range to deal with Bard. If you're right behind this minion, Ezreal can't do anything to you. If he walks up in range to auto attack you, then you can just kite back and be plinking away at him the entire time. Ezreal, I'm gonna look up Ezreal's auto attack range here real quick. Ezreal's auto attack range is 550, so you outrange Ezreal. So if you are able to stand behind a minion to block his skill shots, then you can auto attack him and just be kiting, you know, so if his, I'm going to back it up a little bit so I can look at this again, or show you this. Okay, so you're dead weight, you see that you're dead weight, so you move up. Okay, right now. Clear that. Okay, right now you're in Ezreal's auto attack range. Your auto attack range goes to about here, roughly. His auto attack range goes to here. Or I'm gonna do that differently. I'm gonna make blue you. So your auto attack range goes to here, you know, and his goes to here, because he's about to auto attack you. His skill shots go further than that, but that's his auto attack range. So we already talked about if you move things down. So let's just, like, I'm just gonna move these lines down to, you know, if you were positioned behind the minion, which is probably what you should be. Okay, so now you're positioned behind this minion, let's say. So if you position right there behind this minion, like so, now Ezreal has to move up, you know, if he wants to CS this minion, or this minion, if Ezreal wants to CS this minion, right there, so he has to be, you know, he has to stand, or here, let me do this. So he's auto attacking you there, and that means his auto attack range starts here and is that long, whereas your auto attack range starts here and is this long, roughly. Not an exact, that's not an exact representation, but it's pretty close. Okay, so let's move down and see if you'd position better. So if you position better, and you're knowing that Ezreal wants to CS, so let's say you position behind this minion. Let's just use this one as an example. So if Ezreal wants to CS this minion, he has to stand right here. Look how much auto attack range you have. You can stand all the way back here. So if Ezreal has to stand basically where this minion is, roughly, you know, he has to stand right in front of this minion to auto attack this minion, or right on that minion, or right behind it, or whatever. He has to stand roughly where this minion is to auto attack. You can be all the way back here and still being able to auto attack him. Right? You can be all the way back here. Whereas he has to be, and if he wants to attack you, then he has to move up here, and you can just kind of, so if he moves, so every time, so anyway, there's this sweet spot between the differences in your range. It's a sweet spot that is this zone right here, between the edge of his range and the edge of your range. If you can kite back and forth, this is not just limited to support. This is like everything. This is anytime you have a range differential between you and your opponent. It doesn't matter what role you're playing. it's even more important as ADC and, you know, top laners and mid laners and stuff, because you're constantly wanting to be trading. But as a support early on, you want to be zoning and creating pressure. And so as Anivia, you have a long auto attack range, and this is really easy for you to do. So if you can keep Ezreal in this sweet spot, where you can auto attack him, but he can't auto attack you. You know, if he moves forward, then you just, you know, kind of like the lines are just moving right now. He moves forward to attack you, so he walks forward like that, and you just kite back. And then he moves back, and you kite forward, and then, you know, back and forth and back and forth. You know, so if you're imagining Ezreal's the red blob and you're the blue blob, as he moves back and forth, you're moving back and forth right with him, 1-to-1 ratio, as close as possible. He's trying to auto-attack you, but he can't because he can't get in range because you're backing off, and so then you're auto-attacking him while he's coming towards you. And then he gives up and decides to back off, and so you turn around and kite right back toward him and be auto-attacking him while he's backing off. If you do it just right, you can hit him like 5 times for every 1 time he hits you. And, you know, get him down to half health when he only lands 1 auto attack, and especially if you're able to position such that, you know, you're behind minions and stuff, so he can't hit you with skill shots. If he's smart, he'll just back off and just, you know, use skill shots to farm. If he's dumb, he'll keep trying to force it, and you can keep punishing him, and then you create a situation where you can land an easy kill. So never, you gotta avoid being dead weight in lane as a support, especially a support that doesn't, you know, bring a lot of natural tools for supporting. You know, Anivia has a stun, but it's pretty hard stun to hit. So, like, compared to Bard, you're kind of at a disadvantage from level 1. Bard has a lot of tools to make his ADC's life easier. You do not. So, you got to avoid being dead weight as consistently as possible. Flash Frost. Flash Frost. Flash Frost. Ermagerd. Why not Flash Frost? Hit Bard. Hit Bard before he has a chance to do anything to you. He got so much damage on Tristana for free. You hit him with an auto attack or 2, but stop him from getting up and doing that. I mean, by the time Ezreal comes up, yeah, that's the right call then to, you know, to stun the damage threat. But you could have prevented that from even being a threat by stopping Bard sooner. Okay, good stun. There you go. Frostbite. Okay. That was pretty good. You saw him overextended. You hit him with the stun. You hit him with Frostbite. Tristana followed up. Now he has to back way off. And so now Ezreal's alone. And yes, Ezreal is a full health, but there's 2 of you, and your CC is back up. So now you can pressure Ezreal. You don't want to, you don't want all in him because he has all this minion advantage. Good. Okay, now Bard is dead, so now you can begin pressuring. Just Ezreal has no business being able to do this right now. Like, you can't die. You have your egg up. He's not going to be able to kill you. So there's no reason for you to be hiding back here. You have your egg. You're letting Ezreal free farm. Tristana can't deal with him alone because Tristana by herself doesn't have the health to do so. Ezreal can poke her down. But with the 2 of you, he can't farm. Get up here and pressure him. Pressure, 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 pressure. That has got to be your mantra as a support, is pressure, pressure all the time. And then, you know, because of where you're positioned, when Tristana finally does go aggressive, you're like way back here and aren't able to follow up in time to make a difference. Okay, I'm going to speed up a little bit. But yeah, and this whole time Ezreal should be having to just be weeping openly because he can't farm. There you go. There you go. That was good. What? Did he have heal? I have to know. See, okay, so this is just an example of what I'm talking about. You were here, you have potential threat range. Ezreal doesn't know where you are. He didn't respect your threat range, and you landed your stun. You move forward, you hit him with Frostbite. Tristana follows up. That's perfect. You could be doing this straight up all the frickin' time in this lane. This is the thing that you want to be doing 24/7. I don't mean like spamming it. I just mean you can create these situations way more often, and you can be using your auto attacks to make them even more deadly. So, you know, look to do this more. You're going to want to build mana regen really early on Anivia's support too. Oh, he did have heal. Dang. Okay. And now you want to shove the lane. Shove, 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 shove. Not a big deal. It's going to shove on its own, but you guys could have pretty safely shoved that. Gotten a couple of extra CS, and then that means he misses more CS. It's a couple of seconds of difference, but every second counts. Okay, let's see what you do here. Chalice. That's probably what I would do as well. Yeah. Get that mana regen. I'm not sure what happened there. That was pretty bizarre. So I missed a few minutes of the game. Unfortunately. No, it's still good. No. Let's see if that happens again, then we might just call it good. I don't know if I'm going to look too much at the late game in this game anyway, since there's already a lot to think about to improve how you're playing this. So it looks like you have all 3 of your team's kills, so that's solid. Somehow Tristana has 0 assists though. That's pretty bizarre. So it's kind of too bad. I saw their first kill, I think, but I'm curious as to how those second 2 came about. Looks like maybe you roamed. Or maybe you got ganked or something. Okay. Pretty good juke. Good ult by Bard. Here comes the teleport. Okay, so now you've got a teleport coming in, so you can immediately respond to that. Use your wall. Wall these guys in a bit. Throw your wall like right here. Keep them from chasing you, but keep them from easily running away now too. Because you've got Rek'Sai here. So as soon as teleport happens, you don't want to scatter like this, you want to collapse. Because when you scatter, now Bard has a chance to run over here, and Tristana ran away, and so you guys are kind of messing around with Bard, and Rek'Sai is left to 1v2. So you created an opportunity where they could scatter because you guys scattered. Whereas if you all collapse on one target, it's much easier to pick somebody off. And doesn't look like you're going to be able to pick up a kill. So as soon as teleport comes in, immediately respond to that. Wall them in and start to enforce, try to box them in between the 3 of you as much as possible. Don't scatter like this, because that just gives them a bigger windows to escape through. Speed up a bit. Okay, you're out of mana, you need to go back. You got Sightstone, that's really good, I'm proud of you. Okay, Amumu is pretty dedicated, so I guess he earned that. Bard's gonna go down, 1 for 1. Not the best case scenario, but I'm not sure what you were doing up here. Or why you went up here. Because as soon as you left, that's when they pounced. But... oh, no, 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 go back. Why would you stay? Why would you stay? Dude, you're out of mana. This isn't worth it. By the time your wave pushes, that's not worth it. Because now it's basically just gonna, you just kind of froze the lane for them. See, now the wave is like right here. These 2 go down, but now you just created a perfect freeze situation. I don't know if Ezreal's gonna really punish this as hard as he could, but this is a Christmas present for a smart AD carry. So no, you just needed to go back there. It was set up perfectly for you guys. Tristana would have come back and the wave would have been right here. So your first instinct to recall there was good. Because then you recall that if the wave was right here, then Tristana doesn't have to overextend the farm. She can be much more safe closer to her turret while you're still coming back to lane. Wall there's kind of a waste, because Ezreal has Blink, so I wouldn't open with Wall. I would use Wall as a zoning tool once something has already started, and you've discovered, like, if they want to go a certain direction or chase somebody down or something, you can use that as a way to prevent them from doing what they want to do. But it's not going to be a very effective opener versus somebody like Ezreal in particular. You might even consider not even leveling Wall until you get out of lane phase, because unless you put a few points into it, and especially versus a matchup like this, between Bard's Magical Journey and Ezreal's Blink, it's really not going to be that effective of an ability in lane. And so you might even consider not even putting a point into it early on and just power leveling your Q and your E. The only reason maybe to put 1 point in it in lane phase would be for the vision it can give you in brush. But it's not really going to be useful as a zoning tool early on. 90% of the time. Anytime you have a situation where your AD carry, well, Tristana kind of still needs to be babysat, I guess, because Ezreal's ahead enough. But at this point, you want to be looking to start roaming, because you being here is kind of a waste. Tristan, it's 1v1. You shove the lane. Ezreal has to focus on farming. You know, go look to roam. Tell Tristana to try to freeze it if she can. Tristana has a hard time freezing because of her explosion passive. But nice stun. Tristana went maybe a little too aggressive on Ezreal there. That's not a bad wall there. But anyway, you're kind of wasting your potential, especially since you have some kills just sitting bot lane the entire time here. You would be far better off making your presence known in mid lane as often as you have an opportunity to do so. Nice. The egg baits. Beautiful. Okay. Good. Now you guys can secure Dragon. No! Unbelievable. Well, you murdered him. At least. I'm not sure who was pinging back there, but you definitely... You definitely have a fight, so... You know, you forced Ezreal to burn a lot to escape from that. Fiddlesticks has enough CC that anytime you're in a 1v1, or a 2v1 especially, Fiddlesticks can win that for you pretty consistently. Okay, I'm going to speed up. I'm just going to look briefly at kind of the rest of the game here. I'm going to look for maybe a couple of team fights or something at this point. Okay, it looks like you tried to roam and got caught there, so that's just a vision and map awareness thing. You are dueling with Ezreal while your team is tangling in the jungle there. Let Ezreal have the turret. Like, there's no reason for you to do that. If Ezreal's going to sit in bot lane while this is happening, then he's removing himself from the fight. Like, go fight mid. Go win this fight for your team. Okay, they're doing Dragon again. And you guys destroy them. Don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. Go push a turret. He's going to come to you, because you're going to go pressure a turret, right? So wasting time chasing him when you've already won is kind of iffy at best. Okay, somebody needs to collapse here, so that's solid. Nice wall. Good, that was really good. You've got good vision, so you're able to look at picks like that. Fiddlesticks goes in, nice. Yeah, between you and Fiddlesticks, you have just you have a pretty crazy amount of team fight AoE. So I can definitely see this being a potent pick versus a lot of teams. I bet your passive was like a second away from coming up too, wasn't it? That's how that always works. Okay, I'm still going, kind of blitzing through a lot of this mid-game stuff. Okay, you see them going for dragon, so now your choice is, do we shove a turret or do we stop dragon? Probably stopping dragon is a better choice since Amumu was out of position and he's alone. So that's a pretty easy thing to guarantee you'll be able to collapse on him. And draw them into you. Unfortunately, that didn't go your guys' way. So... good work. Didn't overcommit to that. It was worth trying. Now they overcommit after winning dragon, which is a big throw at this point. Because yeah, now you guys can either do Baron or shove mid. Now you can't. You waited too long. Nice, Rek'Sai is pushing. There's nothing anybody can do to stop him until Ezreal gets there. Nice. Pretty solid on his part. There's the TP. Good. That was a good trade overall for you guys. Fiddlesticks disconnecting is definitely making this a little harder than it would be otherwise. Nice Sonya's. Okay, so overall here, as I'm kind of blitzing through the late game here, overall it seems like you know Anivia pretty well. So I don't know how much experience you have on Anivia, but it seems like you play her pretty well. You know, you got your combos up, and I think there's little things that you could be doing to really smooth out your Anivia play. You know, the old Froggen trick of casting out your Q and your E almost at the same time. You know, not waiting for Flash Frost to hit before you launch your Frostbite, so that it does just an immediate nuke of damage, because you're so good at landing Flash Frost that you don't need to wait to throw out Frostbite. So yeah, if you ever see or look up videos of Froggen playing Anivia, he is just a genius with the champion. So if you're wanting, you know, just some ideas of OP Anivia play, he would be a good resource. Even though I don't know if he hasn't played her as much recently, but even the old videos are probably instructive because her kit hasn't changed very much. But anyway, as you move into mid game, obviously, you know, your role as a support. You want to be constantly throwing down wards around the areas of the map that are going to be contested next. And that's something I can talk about maybe in another video. Because for this video, I think you've already kind of got enough to work on. Just with how lane phase went. I think if you had been a little more aggressive and positioned a little better and really utilized your kit to exert pressure on the enemy duo, I think you would have come out of lane phase even stronger. You guys came out ahead anyway. Well, you did. Tristana was pretty behind. And still is. Well, she has more kills now, but CS-wise. You would have come out significantly stronger out of lane phase. And, you know, that's obviously what you want to do, because you won't always be able to count on having an OP Fiddlesticks on your team. Or the brand is doing okay, you know, even games with you know, when your top laner doesn't do well, your mid lane doesn't do well, you want to be able to maximize your, you know, your performance in the bot lane as often as much as possible, obviously. And so there's a lot of little things that you could do better in this lane to really exert a great amount of pressure on the enemy duo. You also want to be aware of Anivia's weaknesses. She has long cooldowns, especially on her CC. It's a long cooldown. She's pretty mana hungry, so you do want to rush early mana regen, I would think. And you don't want to spam your damage combos. You want to make sure that you are using those as efficiently as possible and finding moments when they're going to be as effective as possible. So you're not just whiffing Frostbite. You know, you always want to, every time you want to cast it, you want to make sure it hits. And so you're looking for opportunities to maximize the success rate of that damage combo, because it's really potent when it does land. But you can use your auto attacks in a lane like this, just 24/7, and be harassing Bard and harassing Ezreal, and giving Tristana much more room to breathe and room to farm, and then she's stronger, and then you're both stronger, and then you're able to force fights when you hit 6, and your AoE and team and skirmishing ability is gigantic. So yeah, a lot of little things to think about and to improve there. So I think if you can work on some of that stuff, then your Anivia support game will be a lot stronger, and you'll be able to come out of lane phase much further ahead with both you and your ADC, which will then translate into more wins. So cool. Well, thanks for the opportunity to take a look at this game, and I hope it helps. Best of luck.